Hi, welcome back. Talking technical again, and thank you so much for all the requests. I say that every time that I'm on the show. We are really surprised with all the emails and Twitters, and even nowadays we even get some Hangouts and WhatsApps that people find us. But let's kick off with the show. And Belly asked about Investec Limited. And I can see with all the requests, some of the viewers are anxious to buy. And they almost like now at the point where they say, Corona is past us, we forgot about it, we can live on and everything will be back to normal. And now you can see all questions are coming of when can I buy the stock, when is a good place to enter. But if I look at this weekly chart of Investec, and I'm using always a weekly chart on the show, and reason being because most of the traders actually join our subscription services to actually get better levels. This is more for the medium to a long-term investor. Now, if I look at Investec Limited, well, there's the drop in the share price on the Corona issue, and we see like almost a double bottom here. Now, since about June, the stock is going lower and lower and lower and lower, and actually trying find its feet, but it's really struggling. So if I look at the chart here, I want to say, okay, the big thing now is, can it remain above this support level? That is the big issue. The big issue for Investec Limited is, can it remain above, let's call it 29.96, let's round it off to 30 Rand. If it can remain above 30 Rand, it actually tells us that it can maybe bounce from here, as we've got a low, another low, that's almost a double bottom, maybe from here bounce up, that will be a triple bottom. But we've got an interesting scenario here. This stock is actually trading in a consolidation band, and what I see nowadays, a lot of these stocks that's been hammered, like the banks, like the retailers, like even some of the property stocks, they're all trying to find their feet, and you see this almost a consolidation here. Now there's one of two issues. Either it's going to turn around from this support, break this line of 38.84, and then go back all the way maybe 46.61. The unfortunate thing is, you can maybe either do this, go up, either go up. If this consolidation break to the downside, we can see the stock down to 20 Rand 52. And the reason why I'm saying that is, if you've got a situation where a chart drops, building on a consolidation, it cannot break above this line, what will happen? The following will happen. You will see the leg down, and what will it do? If it breaks to the downside, you'll probably get an exact line to the downside, and that can take the stock even as low as Rand 86. So just be careful if the stock starts to take out previous lows. So just be careful. Don't just rush into these stocks. And I know I'm also the kind of guy that say I would like to buy as low as I can and then wait for a nice stock to recover. But we're sitting in an interesting scenario. The rest of the world is slowly but surely telling us Corona is over, economies are coming back on stream, but things are not looking that good, and maybe it will take a little bit of time to recover. So yes, that is the sell-off. This is the idea that the long-term and the medium-term investors got. They say, are they happy to see the stock between, let's call it 30 Rand 29.76 and 38.67? Are they happy to see there? Or if they're not happy, it can give this extra leg down, maybe just the first target to 20, and if things really goes bad, even below 10 Rand. So it's one of two things. Buy there, use your stop loss, and there's your stop loss of 30 Rand, and then you can maybe bounce all the way to 48. Don't think that the stock, if it breaks below this line, it cannot go lower. That's the important thing with this whole market. We all anticipate that things are getting better, that things can turn around for the better, but if the support breaks, it can turn out to be very, very nasty. Well, Andre asked us about Netcare, and he's quite keen on buying Netcare, and he's 100% sure that the stock can recover. Now, 100% here, in the market, there's never a 100% story. So what do I see here is I'm still seeing the share trying to find its feet with lower highs and even testing a support every time. But at least there's something positive about this stock. If I look at this weekly chart once again, and I draw in that line, then I'm seeing a falling wedge here. And a falling wedge is usually a bullish turnaround formation that can give us a nice bounce to the top. But that top line will only turn into a support above 1660, and the share is trading now at 1360. So most of the guys say, well, listen, Frans, we don't want to wait till next year before we see a buy. Then we can look at this smaller falling wedge, and let's have a look there. Then it is on the brink of giving us a nice move to the top, and it gave us a buying signal already at 13 Rand 40. And if you want to make use of your stop loss, use 12 Rand 65 as your stop loss, because then it can maybe go all the way back to 16 Rand. So this is the case, Andre. You can see that the stock is trying to find its feet. You've got a smaller falling wedge, but you've also got a bigger one. So you can actually say to yourself, okay, the smaller one is for the traders. If it breaks here and it carries on, yes, it looks beautiful. For the medium to the long-term investors, unfortunately, this top support line must turn into resistance line, must turn into a support to give us a next move to the upside. So, Andre, there's your stop loss, and let's give you your targets to the top. 1485. It's actually 1485 is a strong resistance there. Let's maybe just show you. Look at it. There was a top. It tested it. It tested it once again, and it came back. So this 14 Rand 85 is a strong level. It must break above that to give us some brand new momentum to the upside. Let's have a look at Aspen. Richard, we looked at this stock a while back. Let's have a look at it again. And what I like about the stock is there was the low. There's a higher low. It looks like it wants to give us another higher low. But for me, the most important here, Richard, is this. Let's have a look at this line. Now, that means the stock worked below this resistance line. It turned it into the support. It rallied up. It came back to test. We can call that a positive goodbye test. And the big question now, Richard, if it can break this level to the top, there you are. If it can break that previous high, now that high sits at 153.34, then we can say nice chart. Low, higher low, higher high. That's beautiful. That means the momentum wants to turn around, and we can maybe see a stock turning a trend for the medium to the long term. I like this chart. But on the other hand, I just would like to give you a stop loss target. If you do buy above that, use this line as your stop loss, and that stop loss is sitting at 125.85 cents. And the chart shows you there is some buyers. We can almost call this also a beautiful rounding bottom, but it must remain above the support to keep us positive. Let's have a look at Netflix. I mean, this is one of those darlings of the market. We spoke about this stock so many times, and everybody wants to buy it. And there's the Netflix. It's still beautiful up. What do we see? First of all, the momentum is clearly to the upside. I mean, it's just not even a question about it. Low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. The only thing is, there was the high. The high was at 560.75. And if I look at the chart, let's draw in this trend line. Momentum is still clearly to the upside. And you guys will see something, and ladies, you will see something. I'm trying to find a point on the chart where at least 3 pointers cross the line. There's one, there's two, there's number 3. That one is almost there, but let's call it 1, 2, 3. That is strong. And what do we see in the future? What we've seen in the past, it will always come back to test the support line. We usually sometimes use the 200-day moving average. It works well on the charts. It usually comes back to test it. Netflix in this case, lamp pole formation, gave us a little bit of a pullback, and it looks like it wants to come down. But on the other hand, it must break this little line to give me confirmation that the first sign of weakness will appear, and that is a below 484.24. While 484.24 is a support, the momentum is to the upside. Why? Because it rallied up, it gave us the support line, it broke up, it came back to test the support line, it wants to go higher, but the confirmation for upward strength will be top of this, that close on the weekly chart, and that will be above 528.96. I had an interesting call this morning. An old friend of mine, Pierre, phoned me, and he said, Frans, but companies like Netflix, like Facebook or Google or Alphabet as we know it, all of those companies like a Microsoft, they'll be here in 10 years' time, and he's quite happy to hold on to them. And then I asked him a simple question. I said to him, can you maybe tell me that your house went up 40% in the last 3 months? He said, no. I said, well, and the beautiful paintings you buy for your grandchild or maybe your wife? He said, no. I said, and the shares went up 40%? He said, yes. And I said, well, don't you think it's maybe just time to lighten up a little bit? He made then a good point. He said, you know what, maybe I must just trim it down a little bit. I don't need to sell out all of that. I can maybe just trim down a little bit. And that's the important thing. When you've got a stock that rallied 40%, I mean this one even rallied more. But if you've got a stock that rallied 40% in 3 and 4 months, it's maybe time to lock in some profit. And there's nothing wrong. If the stock gives us a nice pullback and you say the stock will be around for another 10, 15, 20 years, it's nothing wrong with that. Maybe buy the company and then ride it up. Because what will happen? You want to stay with the stock as long as you can. Well, visit our website, www.fransklerk for more info, and we will chat again. Thank you so much for your time.